Hello everyone, Crydax here, and welcome back to pYanodon's Season 3. We have, I think, fixed our rubber production problem that we noticed at the end of the last episode, hopefully. And so that's going. And it's been a little while since I played. I had a super busy weekend, and I'm a little drained from that, so I've got some coffee though, and hopefully we can get some things done today. Now that we have all this beautiful iron, look at this, just flowing freely. Could be good to set up molten steel right now as well. I don't think it would be too hard, right? What's the molten steel? It needs, excuse me, already yawning. Wow, that's not a good sign. 50 molten iron, 100 oxygen, 10 coke. In a buff equals 50 molten steel. Okay, so probably what's weird is right now I actually will get more total steel and iron by not switching it over, because we're only using up to one belt of iron over here anyway, and that means all this other iron ore is going towards that, and we're not making, I mean, what I could do is just copy this whole block. But then the problem with that is we have to create all those buildings again, and they're very expensive. So I don't think I want to copy that block right now because that would just be too pricey. But at some point I could copy this and then do the last step of molten steel to molten iron. But yeah, I don't think I need to do that right now. And at some point I'll probably just switch this over because this is more than enough iron. I mean, we're not going to be consuming 24 iron plates a second or even close to it, so we should be fine to use that. But for now, I'll just leave it. I think there's enough steel, especially if we're letting this buffer to a good amount, maybe like that much. I think we'll be fine. So what are we actually doing? What's on my to-do list? I haven't been very good about the to-do list for a little while. I think just because there's so many things. There's just so many things. Oh, it's overwhelming even just looking at these 5. Copper production's not that overwhelming, I guess, but the other ones are pretty overwhelming. We did set up this part, so we have fast inserters set up. And then this is going to be stack inserters once those are done, but then we also needed lubricant, which we were going to make out of, what was it, fish oil and ash? Yes. Okay, so that's not going to be super difficult either. And then fish 2 will be available. Yeah, I think it's getting close to time to dealing with animals on the train network. I don't even know. What's next for our py2? Our py2 science needs all sorts of stuff. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit discombobulated. Maybe we put glass. Problem is that needs rubber for rubber stoppers. This is also tricky. I could just keep putting more bio things onto the trains, like sap, moondrops, and seaweed. Did this ever get finished building? No. It's getting there though. So that way we can put stone on the network. No! The radar thing that we were afeared of finally happened. Where's that? I always hit the wrong buttons here. So I wanted to do F4 to show tile grid. Yeah, so that radar's just on the right side. Look at that, just barely on the right side of that chunk. And this radar is just a few tiles left, and that creates the situation that we talked about. Because it goes 1, 2, 3, and this one also went 1, 2, 3, but they still don't meet in the middle. So that we knew could happen, and that's why we put the radar in the middle. But the funny part is that does mean there's a world, depending on how the vertical ones are aligned, That does mean eventually we're gonna have a chunk where there's one little black spot in the middle. That's really funny. That is possible. It's not likely, but if... I mean, I guess given our grid is probably mutually prime with the chunk grid, that means there is gonna be one chunk out of every so many where the middle one is unexplored. That's funny. Okay, anyway, I'm digressing. I probably want to extend the train network. Part of these ores being everywhere. There's just ore everywhere. Yeah, I'll probably use this as a good chunk to build in because it doesn't have too much in it. So we've already got our stations here ready to go. And why don't I actually extend those guys. And then I'll maybe even put a station over here, just preemptively, just to get that all ready for building a bunch of stuff in this chunk. And then I could even build something down here if I want. Yeah, let's get that built. And then what else? What else? Maybe one over here. And then I could put a intersection here. No, I'll just leave it that way for now. And then let's get these built. And this one. I'm definitely gonna want this block to be a thing, so why don't I get this ready? I am super force building that, which is gonna cause a problem, but I'll address that here in a moment. And then this is the first place I've even sort of cared about having an L junction, but I can just delete the extra pieces. Okay, and I'm gonna go manually fix that just to make sure we're fine. I'm gonna turn off the bots here. Okay, so to fix this part, we need to remove you and then add in a couple power poles like that. And then up here, we need to fix the, was it an underground pipe? What is it up here? Yeah, underground pipe for tar. Easy enough. Done. So that's fixed. And then the bots will handle the rest. And what's next? I do kind of just want to do something simple on the network. I don't know if I'm feeling the Brainiac. I don't know if I'm feeling the Brainiac version of our slaughterhouse method, although it's not that crazy. We already figured it out. Let's work on the slaughterhouse method, because then we can start getting animal parts in the train network eventually, and we can put animals into the train network, and it'll all be great. It's really not that crazy. I already sort of know how it works. We might not finish it in this episode, but we can at least start the idea. I am gonna need a bunch of slaughterhouses, which, wow, that adds up to an absurd amount of iron each. And steam engines. Are the steam engines caught up yet? No, they're not. So that makes me want to do something else then. Even seaweed needs steam engines. Everything needs steam engines. And the iron is still catching up. We're getting there. You know what I might need is supplement. Everybody needs to take iron supplements, okay? We do too here in pYanodon's world. So the iron supplement is going to be right here. And then that will... Oh, no, that's not going to work, is it? No! What am I doing? I guess it needs to go like that. There we go. Okay, so that will supplement iron so that we can use more than half a belt of iron for our mall here. Hey, and look at what's about to happen. Look at this. We're finally doing it. Belt stacking is done. We now can stack on belts, baby. So exciting. Now, I can't make stack loaders for a long time, but we should have the ability now to make these guys. Stack inserters. And then this research will take another hour, but once that's done, we can finally make a lubricant in a biofactory. And I'll probably make that over by the fish oil. The problem is ash. Because we're making fish oil down here. Maybe I won't make it down there. This fish oil is piped up to where? Yeah, the fish oil is already piped up to here, so I might as well just put fish oil on the train network. Because it's needed in a lot of places, right? I mean, mostly just needed in foods. Guess it's needed in a few places. Just feels weird to train to put fish oil on trains. But putting it on barrels is also kind of annoying. So maybe I'll just do not totally full fluid wagons. Maybe I'll do like 10,000 per trip or something. Our construction bots are not very happy with their lot in life. Which is kind of fair, because they're being asked to go all over the place without very big batteries. I really wish I could upgrade their battery capacity. And what is it that... Yeah, that's where quality... That's one of the things I did like about quality, was being able to upgrade bot energy capacity. That was nice. I seem to have accidentally an intersection here. And I will do this shape of junction. Okay, well, the bots will finish all that eventually. That's gonna take a while. I did order up a lot of rails. But we're making good solder and lead and everything, so we should be fine with that. And what else do rails require? They also require steel, treated wood, and stone. Okay. But we should be okay on steel and treated wood. I don't really know. Are we okay on treated wood? I mean, it seems like we are. So I can't know for sure, but it seems like I've still got creosote here. Right now we've switched naphthalene back to making creosote, which means we're not making organic solvent for a minute, but that's okay because we should have organic solvent built up over here, which we do. So I think we're fine. Okay, anywho, what am I building right now? Because we don't have steam engines. Do we have some? We have some now. Perfect. So everything needs steam engines. So we're just zen gardening here, guys. There's no rush. If you're in a rush, then you're in the wrong series. If I'm in a rush, then I'm in the wrong series. Because we're not rushing here. We're just chilling. We're just chilling. Okay. That's not where steam engines are, though. Steam engines are right here. So seaweed, I could start setting up. Yeah, and we're also going to need to handle flora, which is a whole thing. Flora is an interesting one. Now that I'm thinking about putting it on trains, because it's gonna be, ugh, yeah, this one's weird. Because it spoils into something, but whenever it spoils into that, it can be turned back into flora at the cost of some steam, which is really only electricity. But it slowly does decay almost in terms of like a half-life, you know, because, I mean, it quite literally is a half-life. Well, I guess it's a 75% life. Because flora decays into fluorospolenen, but then fluorospolenen can be turned back into flora at a rate of 75%. So a quarter of your flora basically decays every 3 hours and 20 minutes. But the problem is the fluorospolenen also decays into biomass. And so you only have a 3 hour, 20-minute window to turn it back into flora. Otherwise, you lose it forever as biomass. So the other option is to turn it straight into biocrud on purpose, which we can't do yet. But eventually you can. Yeah, so this is kind of a weird one of like anywhere that's requesting flora via train is gonna end up with some decayed decayed flora sometimes. Yeah, I'm just thinking like, how are we gonna keep it from decaying in the warehouse? We're gonna have to use inserters, grabbing spoiled first. And then that should be okay as long as we're only collecting flora when we need it. But even then, if we stop needing it, it could decay in the warehouse. So yeah, there's all sorts of little weird issues. So I might use a scanner for that to make sure we never end up putting fluorospolenen on a train. But then at the destination, we'll probably get some fluorospolenen from time to time, which is fine. But then the question is, do I want to put that all onto a train? Because if we put fluorospolenen into the trash network, then it's going to just turn into biomass sometimes. And that can break trains too. The real problem is actually CyberSyn here. It's what more accurately, I should say, it's what CyberSyn is not capable of, which is if you have, let me give you an example. Let's say this is the warehouse into the train, and you have 20 items, but then somehow one of them spoils right before it gets put in, or one of these spoils right after it gets put in, then you have an issue and the train will never leave because it won't have the amount that it wanted. And it might not be able to fit more. You know, let's say it was the last thing that got put in, and now there's no room for more things, but it doesn't have the amount of things that it wants. Then it just won't leave, just straight up. So spoilage doesn't work very well with CyberSyn right now, and I've seen the devs agree that a good option would be to add a force a train out type signal, but they haven't done that yet. So it's a bit unfortunate because we're kind of stuck right now not being able to do the type of thing we'd really need to do. I'm not really sure what to do with that. So while I sit here and noodle on that, I'll just pick up stuff that we need anyway. How do we solve that problem, to be honest? Not really sure. I guess one way would be to have things removing the spoiled result from wagons at any place where that could happen. And then that guarantees it'll fill up with fluorospolenen eventually if we have enough of it, because we'll take out biomass. Yeah, maybe I just have a biomass inserter, filtered inserter, removing from the wagon, and then it would remove anything that we don't want. I need a bunch of tin plates for seaweed crops. It's certainly an idea. I don't know if I love it. The other method is just everywhere that I do flora, I have a little blueprint that reconstitutes it. And then we just never have to worry about it. The only downside to that is we're constantly reconstituting a bunch of flora, which means we're spending a bunch of flora in situations where we might not need any. And it would be better to just let it all spoil, and then let that spoil into biomass, and just consider it a lost cause, right? Because it would be over the course of 12 hours, if we've reconstituted it. Well, if we only lose 75% each time, if you have a whole chunk of 100 things, you lose 25 things per cycle. So then 4 cycles is going to mean you've lost effectively 100% of that batch. So, because new stuff will get replaced, and then you lose 25 more, and then that 25 gets replaced, you lose 25 more, and by the time you've lost 100, then you might as well have not reconstituted any of it and just waited. So any situation where it might be idle for 13 hours or more, that's when it would be more efficient to not reconstitute the flora. And 13 hours is a long enough break that I think we can ignore that, right? If it's idle for 13 hours, sure, I'm going to waste some flora, but otherwise it's worth reconstituting. So I think what that means is we're going to set up a little system wherever we're using flora that's, you know, kind of like what I did here, to just keep turning it back into flora. And then that does mean we're going to be spending some percentage of the flora constantly, but that's okay, because flora is free. I don't know why I'm freaking out so much. It's literally just free. It's just an ore we mine out of the ground. It's not that valuable. So I think that's the method we'll go with. And there's probably a huge flora patch somewhere. Yeah, there's a huge patch there. I know there's at least one more. Yeah, there's a huge patch up there. That actually is it, surprisingly. So we're gonna have to train up to probably down here, I guess, eventually, because I doubt this patch is big enough. Then again, we do have mining productivity, and we are going to get Flora Collector Mark IIs eventually, so maybe we won't need another patch. Anywho, I think that's the method for Flora. I'm glad we figured that out, but I guess it kind of has nothing to do with what I'm doing right now, which is kind of wanting to get seaweed going, but I think we're still struggling a little bit on all the small parts that we need. Yeah. Oh, this guy can't grab. He's so sad. He can't quite get to it. But yeah. Maybe I design copper too. Yeah, let's design copper too. We said we needed more eventually. Let's do it. Copper. No. What am I doing? Copper plate. Alright, and then just work our way backwards here. Copper grade 3 comes from grade 2 and rejects, and then grade 2 comes from ore grade 1, and then 15 copper ore is our original input. So that makes grade 1 and grade 2. Grade 1 makes grade 2, so then grade 2 makes a bunch of grade 3 and rejects, and then the rejects make more grade 3. So then we're all jammed up on grade 3, and then the grade 3 becomes grade 4 and low grade rejects, and then low grade rejects go back to being grade 4 and more. Oh, low grade copper dust. And then low grade copper dust becomes low grade copper, which I don't think we can use yet. No, I can. It's just not that valuable. I mean, it's 5% more copper. That feels kind of pointless. I might just throw that crap away. Yeah, that doesn't seem that valuable. But yeah, you can see that this gets us a lot more copper than we're currently getting. So we'll design that eventually. I think for now, or not design it eventually. This is the design. We'll build that eventually. I don't think we need it right now though. Right? Like our copper. No. No, we are actually out of copper. Okay, I do need this then. I do need it. That's a lot of screeners though. Oh my gosh. But I already have some of them, is that right? We already have the first set of 9 screeners and 5 crushers. So the first 2 steps are already done. So now we just need the rest of that, which is another 10 screeners and another 17 screeners. Dear goodness. And then 4 buffs, 3 classifiers, 4 impact crushers, and a casting unit. Jeez, that's expensive. I don't think I can afford that many screeners right now. Maybe I can. Maybe I can. Oof. But it needs small parts, which also need copper, which I am kind of running out of, actually. Cool. Alright, well, there's 10 screeners. Uh, 11. 12, 13. Need more pipes now. I need more circuits. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Jeez, we did it. Then we need impact crushers. Just need more iron, a bunch of steam engines. Everything's so expensive. Alright, 3. Oh god. Nope, nope, nope. We're out of air core inductors even. And so many things. Okay, there's 3 impact crushers? No, 4 impact crushers. Yikes. We need 10 cable too. That could be a good thing to have on hand, but we just don't need it for that many things, so it feels a little wasteful, but 5 buffs. Casting unit, which maybe we'll get lucky and already have one. Over here. Nope. No buffs. Or casting units. So there's a casting unit. So done, 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 done. Sweet. So that's it. Okay. Copper 2 it is. See if we can... I don't know if we'll be able to finish this in this episode, but we're definitely going to get started on it. So I want to be more space efficient with all this. Like I'm going to move that down there. And then that gets us grade 2. Yep, and then the grade 2 will come over to the 10 in a row. Good gravy, 10 in a row. That's insane. And then how does that work? So these 10 are gonna make an output that goes to the 4 impact crushers, and then both of those together are making an output that goes to the next 7. Which almost makes me want to just direct insert and do 1-to-1. A little inefficient, and it doesn't account for the impact crushers though, so maybe not. Maybe not. So we'll line these up right here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Dear goodness, that's like almost the length of the entire block. So that will come over. We'll put that all on a belt that goes directly in front of these, with maybe some underground action like so. And then we can output like that. As far as belt-sidedness, the output is exactly 7.5. Oh, that should work. Should work even better if I... it's fine to leave it on one side. And then on this end, we're gonna have filtered on... It'd be so nice if I could pipette the signal itself rather than a blueprint. Personally, I'd prefer pipetting the signal, but I also see how the little constant combinator thing is nice. The other thing that we need is the ability to pipette all this as a constant combinator. I think it was Cobladix or someone was talking about how Factory Planner has a button that creates a constant combinator with all of those, the building signals, which you could then put almost as a request into your bot mall, which is kind of cool. And that way you can make a logistics group out of it and even request it as a player. And then all of a sudden you've got all the buildings you need. So that's kind of neat. Anyway, what am I doing? So we filter left. What is that called? Copper rejects. And that goes into 4. Of these. And then we have the 7 screeners. Like that. And then... Right, so I'm gonna move these up 1. So as of now, everything is on 1 belt side. Then it'll be on 2 belt sides. I guess we also need to filter off... No, we're not getting gravel right now. We get gravel from the next one. Okay. Interesting. And then the 7 here... We'll feed in the copper. Which one is it? I already lost track. This is the copper grade 3 in. That's this one. Okay. And then that produces grade 4 and low grade rejects. Goodness. And then the low grade rejects, we also don't have to... Oh, did I build the classifiers? I never made the classifiers. We don't have to process that. That only accounts for 1 out of 7 plates. I guess the ratio is 1 to 7, so it's 1 out of 8 plates end up coming from this process, which I don't have to do. So I could just ditch the low-grade copper rejects in the first place, rather than doing that and then ditching the low-grade copper dust. You do get a lot of tailings out of it. That's kind of the benefit. How many tailings? Oh, wow. 281 tailings. Oh, this is a great tailings generation. Okay, I see. It's almost more beneficial for the tailings than anything else. I mean, that's... let me remember what all our tailings recipes are here. Full water slurry, which then... I mean, that's just free aromatics and benzene generation, essentially. Yeah, that's pretty good. Just as a byproduct. Or we can make tailings dust. A little bit of acid gas, though that's not very much. That's only 15 acid gas per 100 tailings. But then the 4 tailings dust turns into... not very much coal dust. Tiny bit of rich dust, and rich dust turns into some chromite. Okay, that's not really worth anything. At least not for now. Maybe later we get something useful like that, but for now we mainly would want to use tailings for this or for the nexolite. Because then copper actually is generating almost 1 raw nexolite a second when it's running at full speed. Interesting. Well, I guess half of a raw nexolite per second. Okay, well let's add into our to-do list to utilize tailings from copper. So we'll throw that on the list. For now, we're just gonna finish the copper doodad. Okay, so anyway, that's there. This needs to be copied. Okay, bots, you guys can do your thing. And then this needs an input of grade 2. What's the rate on this, by the way? I didn't even look. 0.4, 0.4, 0.8. So that means we do need yield regular inserter. And then this guy is 0.8 in and 0.8, 0.4 out. That's right on the line. The other problem is this is technically going to be a little bit too slow because we need 7.032 screeners and we only have 7. So this will slightly underutilize, as in we won't actually be using a full 15 a second belt of iron or copper ore, but that's okay. I can live with that. And then these are gonna go like that. I'm guessing those are fast enough. Yeah, 1 a second in. But then it's 1.5 a second out, so we actually need 2 regular insoidas. But 2/3 of what we're outputting is gravel. So then gravel gets on this belt, filtered off. And then, let's see, how do I want to do this? I actually want, because this belt is going to have the other grade 3s, and I want to input priority the grade 3s here, so that's actually perfect. So we want input priority left. And then they're going to be on the right side, which is the top side, so that works. So those should be on the same side, so then grade 3 is all going to be prioritized properly by doing that. Rejects go over there. Right, that all works, I think. And then these guys are inputting grade 3, outputting the low grade rejects in grade 4. And then that all goes here. Need some power pole connections. Maybe a lamp or so. There we go. Everybody's happy. Not everybody. You guys are not happy. You guys are not happy. You guys are not happy. Alright, that looks like we have power. Okie dokie. Now we're outputting all of the grade 4 and low grade rejects, which put together is actually more than a full belt. Well, sorry, more than a full lane. So that means we're gonna have to mix some go onto the other lane, so we're not fighting for belt space. Done, done, done. And then at that point, we're kind of done minus the extra steps. Okay, so then we've got boffin it up. One, two, three. Ugh, it would be like that. You say it don't be like that, but it do. We're gonna have to do something different. Be like this. Maybe 3 spaces, because we'll bring the fuel down here. Because we're gonna need some fuel. And that's what this belt will be. We'll switch the rock hole over to that. And then, I guess I never moved these down, so I do have some empty space still. I might need that for the classifiers maybe, because we don't really have a ton of space here. Alright, I think it's time to tear this up, so let me stop the input here. Let me stop it right there. Alright, so get rid of this belt. All the way back. And then it'll be up here now. Sweet! Oh, this is awesome. We're gonna have so much copper and iron, which then means things like small parts and lamps are basically free. I mean, I guess I don't have, what's it called? Glass isn't upgraded yet, so the glass part is still not free, but it's just nice to make these huge improvements. Feels really good. Feels very good. Okay, so anyway, that's now up there. These need 5 megawatts, which is a lot. That's a sideways inserter full, which is 2 regular inserter fulls of raw coal. Then we need to connect up all the oxygen, which for now I'm gonna continue with this idea of let's just have one oxygen connection to rule them all. But what that means I'm gonna have to do is probably add a lot more electrolyzers at some point. For now, I might just throw a tank to help with the buffering issues. Yeah, let's throw down a couple thousand liters of storage for oxygen here. So that way we can build up a supply and it'll help with some burstiness on the demand. side of things. And then now we're not dealing with the rejects, but that's okay, because what we'll do is we'll route the grade 4 over to the left, which is you. And then that'll go up. And we also need borax. Crap, I forgot about borax. Borax. Get rid of all this. We are still gonna have ash to deal with. We're gonna have a lot of ash to deal with, in fact. Shoot. Okay, you're gonna connect through to you, and then that connects to here. Okay, so that's a closed connection. I wish I had super underground belts at this point, but we don't. In fact, I'm just curious about the underground distance. Is it a lot longer? Yes, it is. Oh my gosh, it goes up to 16. It's a full double, the yellow one. That's really nice. And then blue is a full double of red, so that is nice. Nice to know that that's in our future, but it's not in our now, so I'm gonna try not to think too hard about it. But yeah, we should be able to go under there, and then those, flip it. And then that is ash. I don't know sidedness wise, is this gonna all be... Yeah, that'll all be on one side. So let's balance it out. Well, actually, right. No, that will be balanced. That will be balanced. Okay, so there's all that. And then we just gotta bring in the borax. Just over here. And the sand casting, which is right there. Alright. So we do something like this. Borax, sand casting. No! Here. Stop. I don't want you to repair that. I want to get rid of it. Go away. Alright, and then... We're getting there, we're getting there. Okay, now we just need the casting unit. Somewhere over here. Ready to go. Wait, what? Yes, don't have my bots turned on. It's like, I swear we did that. And we did. We did do that. How do we... I think I'm actually just gonna do this, and then a T. Well, no, but then it ruins that one. That's fine. Just do an L there, and then a T here, and that works. And then we've got molten copper. The hot air is around here somewhere. In fact, it's right here. Why is hot air low? Is it meant to be just chilling at 30%? Or is that bad? I think that's bad. Alright, we might be running out of hot air. It's very possible. Is upgrade hot air on my... I It should be on my to-do list. I don't think it was. Alright, well that's next probably. And then we got the borax, which gets fed in at 0.75. And the sand castings, we actually need a regular inserter. And then the borax needs to continue on to here, where it will meet with the copper grade 4, and those get fed into what? Oh, it was an underground belt. I was like, why was it pulling so much raw coal off of that belt? Yeah, underground belts hold a lot. That's why. Okay, now we're feeding borax and copper. All right, and then this is gravel, which needs to get removed. And that is actually going to be a filter for grade 2 copper left. And then we've got gravel and stone over here. Which then, well, we're not quite good to go yet. I guess we need gravel on a different one. So gravel goes to the right. So the stone can join with its fronds, and then the gravel can join with its fronds. And now we're pretty much maybe completely done, except for one thing, which is getting rid of the low-grade rejects. And there's a lot of them. 5.62 per second is like quite a large amount of items. What are you guys doing? Oh, I never finished this. Alright, so the low-grade rejects, we should probably deal with it. Reclassifiers. Oof. So close. And of course I can't craft them, but that's fine. And then that's gonna output more stuff we don't need, but some stuff we do need. Because there's gonna be some regular grade 4 on here. That's kind of in a bad spot. We'll switch that around. And then the grade 4 will go to the right here, and then I don't even know like how this needs to be prioritized, because I don't know what side of the belt things are on. This will be on the right side of the belt, be the bottom. This one's a mixed beltage, unfortunately. So I would have to do something. This is also tightly filled in here. I guess I could. There. This will prioritize it. Natural prioritization of the grade 4. And now we have crap we need to get rid of. Just straight up delete. Delete this low-grade copper dust. I don't want to add a bunch of washers. Well, could I add the 3 washers right here? I guess I could. It's 3 washers, and then what is the problem? Because then I think I'd have to smelt this like regular. Yeah. Which is annoying. I need coal to deal with it either way. But I'm already here. So maybe it's fine. Alright. This episode's longer than I thought it would be. It seemed like we were so close, and then we were so far. I'm gonna get that ready to connect. These... Wait. Sorry, these are two different things. That's the gravel. This is the stone. Those go together here, and then they go away together. Right here. Okay. And then these are the rejects. The low-grade copper dust, which then goes by here. Okay. Got it. Which, I don't know, I'll just do something like this, and then we'll feed those sideways, which I'm pretty sure is more than fast enough. Yep. And then we got a bunch of tailings that we don't even need, but at least we'll have access to them for now. And then connect that up to a sinkhole, which I can't even craft that. Oh my gosh. And then we got to get rid of a bunch of crap, which is going to have to be done like this. And then a pump jack with the water. Alright. We're getting there. Well, now we have to burn this stuff, which is pretty annoying. I know I could do more with it, but I don't really want to smelt it, because it just smelts into a couple copper plates. Like, that's not really that valuable. We'll throw down a burner. We'll go grab more iron or whatever it is that we're missing to craft the classifiers. Perfect. Well, not quite perfect. We need small parts. Uh-oh. We're all out of copper. Yikes. Alright, let's get this running. Let's get this puppy running. We'll see if I did it right. I think we're pretty much there at this point, because that'll burn the low-grade copper. We'll see if I connected all the belts properly. I probably made a mistake somewhere. Oh, you know, there's also that. I just never did an input inserter for these. Oh, sorry. Whoops. I did. I just didn't put this belt in the right spot. There we go. Okay. I was gonna say, I was like, something feels wrong here. Make sure there's no grade 2 on these belts. Get rid of all our grade 1. Grade 3 and rejects. Okay, perfect. I think we're cooking now. When the rejects get turned into grade 3 and gravel. And that's over there, and then we're input priority on those. Oh, the gravel output. Whoops. Wait, where did I think the gravel output was? Hold on, I think I screwed up a couple things. Yeah, I did. This is not gravel. This is the grade 4. Gravel is over here. This is gravel. And this is the one, hey, we got a research done. This is the one that needs to join with stone. This one is grade 4. Ooh, just barely works. And this is the one that needs to be fed into these guys. With actually 2 inserters apiece. There we go. Hey, molten copper is created. What now, baby? Nice. It's working. It's working. All right, and then we just need a loader out, and I believe this is the copper. Sweet. Alright. Well, we were copper starved, but no longer shall we be copper starved. Oh, that's annoying. Never mind. It's input starved. Sweet. Copper plate. We can see the best we ever got for many, many hours was a 3 a second. 180 a minute. 180 a minute was our previous best, and now we are up to 900. Oh no, that's not 900. 820 a minute? Yep, I'll take it. I will take it. Beautiful. Beautiful. Not to mention, we get uber amounts of tailings out of this, which, again, I know I'm not using them right now, but tailings are really powerful. That cold water slurry is no joke. Aromatics and benzene are great, and like we even looked at, what is it called? Dirty water? No, that's what tailings are called. Tailings are called dirty water heavy. Cold water slurry is called coal slurry. I see. Anyway, benzene is 1 megajoule, so that's like 50 megawatts right there if we were going to use this as some sort of oil burner fuel, but obviously it's more for the being an ingredient in other things. You know, aromatics help make plastic. We need it for zinc mining. I guess there's a version of it. Oh, that's how we make olefins later, which is nice. Just straight up olefins. We need it for Decalin. There's a version where aromatics kind of get turned into benzene. All sorts of fun options. And then benzene is used in... Here, let's use this. Right now it's used in nothing, but... It's used in nitrobenzene, yeah, and cumene. And we need both of those for, it's either red circuits or blue science. Yeah, we'll need a lot of benzene eventually, so having free benzene is nice. Anyway, that's, I think, all we have for this episode. We've now got plenty of copper. I can check improved copper production off my list. And now I do think we're going to want to improve our hot air production to make sure it can keep up, because now we're using it for a lot of things. We're using it for tin, we're using it for iron, we're using it for potentially solder. Potentially not solder. Oh, sorry, the tin one is self-sustaining, actually. So the tin one is not utilizing our overall hot air. Anyway, all that to say, we should have enough copper now. It'll probably take a little while to saturate all the proper belts, but that's more copper than we're gonna need. Sweet. Iron, copper, both molten. Feels really good. Alright, well, we're gonna call it an episode there. As always, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and I'll see you all in the next episode.